What's good, YouTube? I'm back, and I'm here to give you more tips on helping you to reach your dream physique. So, I've had a haircut, as you can see, and yes, apart from looking a bit like Mr. Potato, it's all good. So, anyway, today I'm going to answer the most common question I get, one of the most common questions I get, whether it be on social media or my friends in university or my friends at home. How many calories do you need to eat to gain or lose weight? You know, this is a fundamental issue in whichever journey of fitness you're going in. It's nutrition, and the key thing about nutrition is how much you're meant to be eating. What should you be eating is another question. Today I'm going to focus on how many calories you need. So without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, you need to realize that this is going to be different for everyone in the world, because everyone has different genetics, everyone has different heights, different weights, different metabolisms, different lifestyles. So what other people may have, you won't be similar. It's more than likely you'll have a different calorie needs to someone who looks and is built similarly to you. You will probably need quite a different quite different calorie needs. So if you should work this out for yourself, and then you should keep adjusting this for your personal lifestyle. So the first thing you're going to need to do, step number one, is find your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. Your basal metabolic rate is how much calories your body needs just to function in itself. You know, this is just to make your heart beat, to make your brain function, your eyes move around in the sockets, you know, all that shit, without fitness coming into play. So you're going to need to work this out first, and I've put a link down in the description of the one I use, but there's plenty on the internet you can use. They're not the most accurate things, but it's a good start for people who don't really know what they're doing. So you're going to need to enter your height, your weight, your age, stuff like that, and you'll eventually come up with a figure. So today we're going to work on a tutorial using me as an example to give you like a big walkthrough on what to do. So pretend I'm a new person, right into new to this, and I want to work out how many calories I need. So I've worked out my BMR on the link in the description, and it's come to 2046.55. Okay guys, so this is the amount of calories my body will need to just to function in itself in metabolic processes before I do anything, before I get out of bed. This is the base amount of calories my body needs. So okay, so once you've got your BMR, the next step is where you have to be a bit judgmental on yourself, and you have to decide how your lifestyle fits into one of these factors. So I'm going to show you a little table here. As you can see, there's 5 options. So you will need to look at these 5 options here. So starting on the top one, we have sedentary, little activity, moderately active, active, and then very active. So take note of these numbers, and the full instructions will be in the description at the bottom of the screen. But just work along with me here so you get the idea. So after looking at that table, which we have, if you go back to your BMR, which mine was 2046.55, if you remember, and then you have to look at these 5 options and decide what you are. So sedentary is basically if you work long hours, sat at the same desk, you work out maybe 1 or 2 times a week, no cardio, no sports. You know, I'd class that as sedentary. So just use like a bit of common sense in this bit, then get eventually increasing activity until you get to very active. Very active would be someone, for example, who works a very physical job like construction or a tree surgeon, you know, outdoors all day, lifting heavy things, and then they go to the gym 4, 5, 6 times a week. Very sporty, they play rugby or football or tennis, you know, stuff like that. So just use a little common sense and decide which one you are. I'm going to put for me active. So as you can see from the table here, active would be BMR times 1.725. So because I only work 4 days a week, and I go to gym 6 days a week, and I'm also playing hockey and rugby. But in my job, a lot of it is sat down. You've got to take that into account. So I'm going to put that as active rather than very active. So what you want to do is you want to go back to BMR 2046.55, and then I'm going to times that by 1.725. Okay. Now this has given me 3,530.29. So you need to take note of that. And this is the amount of calories your body needs to maintain its weight. So if you want to carry on with all your activities which you do on a week-to-week basis and maintain your weight, maintain your physique as it is, this is the amount of calories you would eat. Now, obviously, most people want to lose or gain weight. That's like the predominant thing. So what you're going to do as a baseline here is take 500 or add 500 onto this figure based on whether you want to lose or gain weight. 3,500 calories is equivalent to 1 pound of weight, 1 pound of fat, 1 pound of weight. So if you eat 500 calories per day less than this, you will lose 1 pound a week. If you eat 500 calories per day more than this figure, you will gain 1 pound a week. Now this is a very rough estimate because everyone's body is different, everyone's body will react to it. So what I recommend is a big trial and error. So use this as a base, and if you feel like you're losing too much weight or gaining too much weight, alter it accordingly. So you can trim a few calories off if you're getting put on a bit too much fat, or if you're not losing weight very fast, you can tune down a bit calories or do more cardio. So all of them things can come into account. Okay, so just to finish off the example, we've got the 3,530 calories here, and say I wanted to gain weight but not too fast, keep relatively lean. I'm going to add 300 to this, which will give me 3,830. That's the amount of calories I'm going to need to grow and gain weight, and I'll put on roughly maybe just under a pound a week. Okay, so I've done the easy part. You've got the amount of calories you need, and if you want to lose or gain weight, you would have changed this and got your figure. Now you've got a figure, you might be asking, okay, I've got the amount of calories I need. How much protein do I need? How much carbohydrates? How much fats do I need? And this will really depend on what sort of plan you're putting yourself on. So the standard bodybuilding plan is 40% of your calories go to carbs, 40% of your calories go to protein, and 20% of your calories go to fat. So obviously if you're dieting, wanting to shred down a bit, you will over time reduce this percentage assigned to carbs, and maybe give it more protein, more fats. But for now I'm just going to use a 40-40-20 split. So that's the most common and the most standard one, and this will generally get you to this is generally like the used thing. So what you need to know here is this. I'll show you this table. As you can see there, a gram of each macronutrient conforms to a certain amount of calories per gram. So you can see here, protein and carbohydrates, 1 gram of these, each have a calorific value of 4 calories, whilst 1 gram of fat has a calorific value of 9 calories. So with that being said, now you can see why people tend to stay away from fats when they're trying to lose weight. Not because fats are bad for you, not because fats will get you fat, it's because fats, you to eat the same amount of fats as carbs, if you were to eat the same amount in weight, you'd get a lot more calories from fat just because of its calorific density. So that's why people tend to stay away from them, not because they're unhealthy in any way, just because of their calorific value. They give your body more energy than carbohydrates or protein. So we've got this information, and we've got my figure. If you remember rightly, it was 3,830. So we're going to write that down. And what we'll need to do now is assemble this into a 40-40-20 split. So we'll start with protein first, protein needs, and we can see here 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So we'll get my calorie needs, which is 3,830 to gain weight, and we will divide times this times 0.4, because that's 40%. Okay, so you times it by 0.4, 1,532. Okay, just here. So that is the amount of calories I need in my diet to be made up of protein to gain a pound a week. And as we just read earlier, 1 gram of protein per gram is 4 calories. So we'll divide this by 4 calories, divide by 4 equals, and we get 383. So it's 383 grams of protein I will need. So we'll write that down. So, and then we'll do the same for carbohydrates. So go back to our figure we needed to gain weight, 3,830 calories, times again by 0.4, because again 40% of carbohydrates, times 0.4, 1532, the same as protein. Divide by 4, 383 grams of carbs as well. So that's 383 grams of protein. Oh, excuse me. Oh, bad cough. 383 grams of protein and 383 grams of carbs. So now we're going to go to fats, and here we're going to get our figure 3830 calories, and we're going to times this by 0.2 now, because remember we're having 20% of our calories being fats. So times 0.2 equals 766 calories. So 766 calories in my diet are going to come from fats. And then we're going to divide this by 9 calories, because 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, which gives me 85.1 grams. So that means we're going to have 85 grams of fat. So there we have it. These are the macros I am going to use to gain weight. And if I was to lose weight, obviously they'd be considerably less. So 383 grams of protein, 383 grams of carbs, 85 grams of fat. So the reason I made this video anyway is because it's a really important issue, which when I started bodybuilding, I couldn't really find this information easily. You know, people were saying, oh, I'm going to bulk, I'm going to cut, I'm going to maintain. I kept thinking, how do these people know how they're going to lose or gain weight? How are you going to eat that food and know how many calories are in it or whatever? So I hope this has cleared it up for you all. And another tip I would highly recommend using if you have a smartphone, which most people do nowadays. Oh, I'm using mine to record. Is MyFitnessPal. Just here, it's called MyFitnessPal, and this app is a lifesaver for body. It's like a bodybuilder's best friend. On this, you can scan the barcodes on the food you eat. You can enter the amounts you're eating in weight, and it will give you the protein, carbs, and fats for each item of food you're eating. You can add recipes, different meals, you know, even adding how many calories you burnt that day on the treadmill or whatever. It's a really good app, and you can even enter your calorie goals. So if you enter your calorie goals and the percentage of that calories you want to be proteins, fats, and carbs. So we've used 40, 40, 20 here. You can change that around to whatever you want, and that will tell you when you're getting close to your limit, or how many you've got left to eat. It's a really good app. I would highly recommend getting that, because that's what I use, and I know that's what a lot of other people use to track their calories. It's when you're bulking, it's not the biggest issue in the world. You know, as long as you're getting your protein and eating in excess of calories, you will put on weight. But when you're dieting, you really need to stick to this. So when it comes around to my diet time, obviously my videos will be a bit more inclined to that, but you need to be a lot stricter on that. You really need to be counting your calories then. Otherwise, you simply won't lose weight and you won't get there in time. So anyway, I hope this video has helped you all, guys. It's certainly cleared up a lot for me when I first learned about this, and I hope this will really help you understanding a bit more about calories and what your food means to you, and how will that affect your body. So until next time, guys, I'll see you next time.